I could go on a 2-hour rant about this, but we have some hockey to talk about and some other shit.
There is hockey to discuss. The playoff teams are set. We know who's going to be in the playoffs. We don't quite know where exactly, other than the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference is what it is going to be. And we're going to be making our predictions. We're going to go by round for the NHL because they do the reseeding after the first round. The NHL is playoffs.
It's dumb like that.
It's a good thing you have.
It's literally impossible to make a bracket.
If you want to make a bracket, it's not the easiest thing to do. So we're going to go round by round, and we're going to start in the Eastern Conference. But first, actually, were you nervous at all for that? I mean, that road trip was god awful. That Winnipeg game, like, I get that you don't have to win these regular season games, but to look as bad as you did to finish off that road trip, and
I'm not stressing.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
It's good to get those games out of the way now.
That drove the dagger into the President's Trophy hopes. So, okay, I'll live with it.
That's good with me, Jimmy. That's what we've been saying all along. That's good with me. I would route the last 2-3 years. What happened? We were on fucking hot streaks at the end of the regular season, and then what happened?
They played that road trip is exactly the way that the last 3 seasons have ended. So I think that's why it triggered me, because I was sitting there remembering watching Dallas in the bubble, watching San Jose when Landy wasn't offsides, and watching last year. So I have some PTSD.
It's exactly how the postseason went. But the regular season, end of the regular season, we were the hottest team in hockey. And look what happened.
No, I'm just saying. I had some
we start losing playoff games, then I'll worry. Right now, I'm taking a deep breath.
Okay.
I'm taking a deep breath. That's all. I got one team already out. I got one fucking hope, Jimmy, now. One hope.
Hey, me too.
Okay? We only have one hope. And you already lost. You lost the Super Bowl already. My team lost a fucking heartbreaker in the first round. And we have one team left for some sanity this year.
And by the way, the Rockies seem to be evening out and going in the wrong direction again. So
it was fun while it lasted. Hey, that's a good sign, though. Remember? We said that they need to suck for the Avs to be good. So it was big brain.
And we have to mention the fact that all of our teams are in what is considered to be the best division in their sport. The Avalanche and Wild and Blues are 3 of the best teams in the entire NHL. The Nuggets obviously had a fairly good division, and the Broncos with Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Derek Carr, Devontae Adams. The AFC West is really where people were talking. And then
the Rockies, of course, have the 3 of the best teams in baseball.
Yeah, the NL West was the only division that had 4 teams with double-digit wins. But yeah, NHL, Stanley Cup playoffs, first round, Eastern Conference. The 1 versus 8. Florida, President Trophy champions. Congratulations. You get to hang a banner for that. Yes, there you go.
You don't want that banner. Good for you.
Florida, 122 points on the season. They go up against Washington, who I actually just saw in person a couple weeks ago. Ovi has that little bit of an injury scare at the end of the regular season. Not sure how much that's going to affect it. Florida, this is a series that Florida should be able to win. Florida shouldn't struggle until they go up against probably Tampa Bay or New York in the next round. But this is good for the Panthers because they've been missing Aaron Ekblad, who's been one of their best defensemen on their game in their season. He plays up with your top pairing. So you get him back for the postseason. Florida looks like a dominant team when he's on the ice. The addition of Giroux, I think they're undefeated or have not lost a game in regulation since they acquired Giroux. It's been a crazy run that Florida's been on. So President's Trophy, I have faith in them. And Washington, especially if Ovi's not at 100%, Washington, after seeing them in person, had to play a perfect game against the Avalanche's C team to come away with a 1-goal victory. It's not happening for Washington this season. Unfortunately for the Capitals fans, 2018 is not repeating itself this year.
I'm going to go Panthers in 6 here. I think I'll say 5. I'll say gentleman's sweep here. I think Washington is able to get a game in this series. I think they can put up a fight a little bit based upon the talent of Ovi and Backstrom and having that pairing back. In the lineup for the first time, I think, this month for the first time all year, honestly. I think a few weeks ago was the first time, but I think that's the best shot they got. I like I said, I'm not sold on Florida. I'm just not. I think they're a very good ball club. They have great goaltending, obviously, back there with Bob, but I'm really not sold on them in the deep run. Obviously, I'm sold on them in this first round series, but I don't know how much further they can go, in my opinion. They seem like a Calgary team from 2 years ago.
Yeah,
3 years
I don't
ago.
know. I don't
3
think
years
that they're
ago,
going to
whatever.
get. I don't think they're going to get upset in the first round, but I think they're probably. I'm going to say they win in 7. I think that they're going to get pushed in the first round, and then when they go up against the winner, because the best series on this side of the bracket is New York and Tampa Bay. Those are the two best.
That's the first round.
That's
Oh,
a first round matchup. That's what I was saying.
Shit.
When you're not the 1 or 2 seed, you have to play in division, and those two are in the same division. So it's New York and Tampa Bay in the first round, tied at 108 points apiece. I think New York gets the tiebreaker because they had the regular season series in favor. But talk about I guess we'll just go to that series next because those are two of the top goaltenders in the entire league. In Shesterkin, who's a rookie, looking to possibly repeat what Brodeur and Waugh did in their rookie seasons, backstopping New York. And then in Tampa Bay, Vasilevsky is a Vezina winner last season and a Stanley Cup champion the last 2 years.
2 times, so he'll be
hasn't lost an elimination game in the playoffs in the last 2 seasons. This is a World War III type of matchup.
This is a series that you have to watch every game. It is must-watch TV. I thank God for ESPN deal now that I can watch every single game because I think every single playoff game.
NBC Sports and there's not going to be Formula One on priority over the NHL playoffs.
So hey, don't hate on Formula One. I love me some Formula One.
Not over the
NHL playoff. But I'm going to be watching every game of this series. I can't believe that's the first round we're going to get between these two teams. I really like New York a lot. What they did with Panarin and Lafreniere up front, and then Adam Fox in the second row was Slavin. Man,
Trouba is a good defenseman for them too.
Trouba is a hell of a defenseman, and the rookie, their goalie. It's hard to pick against Vasilevsky. I still think Tampa Bay can win the series. I still think I think it's 7. I think it's 7. I'll say it. I'll think it goes 7. I think that, but I still believe Tampa Bay can take over this because when you look at Shesterkin is a damn good goaltender. Maybe it's a Bennington 2.0 situation where he comes in hot off the fucking press and just continues the hot streak and fades off into the abyss. But I am rolling with the hot goaltender still, and the hot goaltender for the past 2 years. I don't know what the LTIR looks like for Tampa Bay, who they're getting back, but
I don't think they had anybody. Funny enough.
And they had Kucherov's playing. Everybody's playing for them.
I think Kucherov.
Oh, they're fully healthy. Yeah. Give me Tampa Bay night and day. Yeah, give me Tampa Bay in 7 easily. I won't say easily, but I am confident Tampa Bay can win this series.
All right, you ready for this? I'm going New York in 6.
I'm going Rangers in 6. I'm not surprised.
I think the fact is Tampa Bay was in the finals in 2018. They won the Stanley Cup the last 2 seasons. What that does is you play an extra 30 games on top of everybody else. I feel like at this point we're going to see a very tired because they haven't had anybody on the LTIR. Nobody's coming back with fresh legs. They struggled in the first round against Florida last season. They haven't been walking to the Stanley Cup finals every year and then having to win in 6 and 5 games the last 2 seasons. I think New York is fresh. I think New York they're probably not going to understand. Yeah, they're hungry, and they're not going to understand that they probably shouldn't be there because this wasn't expected. I think the Islanders were looked at as more of a playoff team than the Rangers, but here we are. And Shesterkin gives you the confidence. That's where the confidence comes from because your goaltender is out there playing like a 10-year vet. So you got guys up front like Panarin and Lafreniere who haven't been as good as they can be, realizing some of their potential. And Ryan Reeves brings a level of toughness to this team that they were missing desperately last season. That Ryan Reeves is he's the biggest turnaround in their culture from top to bottom. So I'm going Rangers in 6. I think that they're going to get hot. I think they knock out Tampa Bay.
I think it's just going to take a little bit. They're going to need everything to go right. I think to beat the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions. All I'll say. That's
my Eastern Conference series that I'm watching I'm watching every Avs game and I'm watching every single Ranger Tampa Bay game.
Absolutely.
So we're split on that one, but I think we're in agreement that it's going to be a hell of a matchup. Carolina as the 2 seed, possibly without their starting goaltender, Anderson, who went down against the Avs. Funny enough, I don't know if he's going to be back or 100% healthy at the beginning of the playoffs. They're going up against Boston, who's the 7 seed. Yeah, that's a scary 7 seed. Not super pumped about that one. Yeah, the Bruins with Bergeron and Marchand and Pasta. You got to wonder how many more times are these guys going to be in the playoffs together on the same team. The one thing I will say, watching them against the Lightning in the bubble, that was a team that just physically couldn't keep up. This is not the same Boston team. Boston versus Carolina, we're going to see a very even matchup. And Boston might even be the better team. They were just in the tougher division. Carolina had the Metro, where the only other good team they had to play was New York. Boston was playing Florida, Toronto, like Pittsburgh, all of these really good teams. And Boston with 107 points on a season where they haven't been the healthiest. I would not like – same thing you said about the Celtics. I hate giving praise to the Boston teams, but the Bruins are a damn scary 7 seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs.
If you're Carolina, you've been coasting kind of. You've been very good all year, but everyone expecting you to be one of the top 2 teams the whole season. You've just been coasting throughout the whole time. When you face Boston in the first round, you cannot coast. The one thing, like this goaltending matchup that was Swayman and net for Boston, I don't know the goaltending situation for Carolina. Obviously, if they don't have Anderson, then I don't know what the backup looks like, but it's going to come down to that back end, because there's no doubt the offensive firepower of Savin and Aho over there in Carolina. And then you look at the death lineup of Boston. I have to give the death lineup of Boston a little bit of an edge. I hate doing it, but I'm going to, because Carolina, I don't trust yet. They have to prove it to me. Every single year they're a good team, but they don't prove it in the playoffs. And it's similar to the Avs. Avs, I know the exact same way, but they have to prove it to me that they're willing to take that next step. And I don't think they're ready to. So I think Boston can steal one here. I'll go. Who's a home? I'll go 6. Boston wins at home ice. Boston 6.
Yeah, I'm taking Boston in the series as well, and it goes down to that game against Colorado when we saw Cale Makar lay that hit on Jordan Staal. If you don't know Jordan's, like, the history of Jordan Staal's career, he won a Stanley Cup in Carolina in 2004 when that franchise won its first championship. He is Mr. Carolina Hurricane, and Cale Makar was able to put his shoulder in Jordan Staal's chest, and nobody did a single thing. Like, Aho and everybody came over and chirped like you're supposed to, but nobody on Carolina is able to stand up when somebody takes a run at their top guy. And Boston has a guy named Charlie McAvoy on the back end, who is a top 10 defenseman, maybe top 8 defenseman in the NHL currently. And for that reason, I'm going Boston. I think they might get it done in a gentleman's sweep. Honestly, I think they go 5.
I think they can win on home ice. I think that's the only thing. But yeah, Carolina, like I said, you got to prove it to me. I have to prove it to me if you're Carolina. Absolutely.
Yeah. Toronto and Pittsburgh is the final playoff matchup in the Eastern Conference side. Toronto, home team, with 113 points. Pittsburgh struggled a little bit down the stretch, but this might, like we said with Boston, how many more times you're going to see that line together? This could be the last time we see Evgeny Malkin, Sidney Crosby, and Chris Letang all on the same unit. And that's going to be the end of a true era in the NHL, which is not something, we hadn't
It's not something to slouch at all. Those dudes won a lot of playoff games, won a lot of games together, scored a lot of goals, a lot of points,
and never were satisfied. Like I was hearing stories about the coaches 10 years into that line being together after they already won 2 cups, and in that last season when they got their last one, they were pissed off at each other for not getting enough attempts on a power play. Like they've done everything that there is to accomplish, yet they are still hungry for more. And Toronto has not won a playoff series since Mike Myers made a shitty movie about a love guru. So it doesn't seem like there's much to go off of here. No, Toronto, like Austin Matthews, what he's been able to do And the
It's
fact that
unreal.
he's writing his name in the record books of one of the most storied franchises in the league's history. So
free
Austin Matthews is the dude.
Free Austin Matthews.
Please.
Bring him to the States. Bring him
back
to the States.
home. Yes.
Bring him
put
back
him in Arizona for a season.
Yeah, put him
make
in
him
Arizona.
suffer in Arizona for a season and then make him move to wherever else you want him to go, but get him away from Toronto especially. Yeah. I don't believe do I want to be the bold guy and say that this is going to be the season that they do it? Or do I want to look smart and when the inevitable collapse comes? Because remember last year when they were going into that Montreal series, we said,
no way they don't lose.
Yeah, there's no way.
There's no way.
There's no way that they have to win this series, and they didn't. So where are you going?
I base most of my playoff series, like winners or losers, off the goaltending matchup. Like, let's be honest here.
That's a bad goaltending matchup.
It's a bad goaltending matchup, but I give Tristan Jarry a slight edge.
Oh yeah,
I may give Tristan Jarry
Anderson's
a slight edge.
like 50, so Tristan Jarry gets the edge.
I may give Tristan Jarry a slight edge here. But I'll bite the bullet. I'll do it again another year because I love Austin Matthews so much. I can't believe I was so fucking robbed of him wearing Team USA colors and me getting to root him on this year. That I gotta root for something in him because I love watching him play hockey so much. He's one of my favorite players to watch. That's not a Colorado Avalanche, and I'm gonna go with Austin Matthews to win this series and break the stigma. They'll build him a statue. They'll do whatever for him if he breaks the stigma. But give me Austin Matthews in Toronto. I hate it. I hate doing it, but I'm doing it.
How many games?
I'll say 7. I'll say Pittsburgh. I'll say Pittsburgh goes up. Actually, no. I'll say Toronto goes up. They blow a 3-1 lead. They get to Game 7 back on home ice, and Toronto finally breaks the monkey off the back and wins Game 7 on their home ice and moves on to the second round.
I don't. Yeah. I'm not saying that I don't see your logic. I get it there.
It doesn't make sense, but
I just go back to the point of the definition of insanity being doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. That would be the exact same thing. Toronto has the home ice advantage, gets the 3-1 lead, gets dragged to a 7th game, and then somehow puts themselves back together. I say if Toronto wins, Toronto has to win in 4. They cannot taste a single hint of it. Everything has to be perfect. Perfect. So if Toronto wins, it's got to be a sweep. If they have any adversity at all, Evgeny, Sid, and Letang are just going to donkey them. I'm going to go Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh wins in 6. I think Pittsburgh is going to win it on their ice, and Pittsburgh's going to move on.
I don't hate that. It makes sense.
So it's not like the NBA playoffs. We do have some variation here. We both go Florida. I have them winning, I think, slightly. I think you have them in a longer series than I do. We're both going Boston, but then you have Toronto. I have Pittsburgh. You have Tampa. I have New York. So we are split on a lot of the series in the Eastern Conference. For the Western Conference, I wonder, are we both going to pick the Avalanche?
Oh, that'd be kind of crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Funny how that would work.
Yeah. Right now, with Nashville winning tonight, they're going to take the lead on Dallas because it was 90. They had 95 points going into the game tonight. Dallas had 96. What's up?
Oh, Jimmy, I prefer Dallas.
Yeah, no, Dallas.
Nashville scares me. Yes. I don't know why, but they do.
Because of the back end.
The back end and the fucking crowd. They scare me. Yeah. They scare me, Jimmy.
I
know firsthand what the playoff game in Nashville, Tennessee looks like. I know, it's scary. I'm not sure I play Dallas.
I'm going to say that we're playing Dallas because Nashville did take the lead. But whether they play Dallas or whether they play Nashville, we're both going to be picking the Avalanche.
I say it goes 5 against Dallas. I say it goes 6 against Nashville.
Yeah.
As one either way.
So that leaves Calgary to play Nashville at the 7th seed if Colorado does indeed face Dallas. Calgary, an interesting 2 seed. They're only the 2 seed, like I mentioned, because of the division split, and Colorado has the tiebreaker. Calgary has the tiebreaker over Minnesota. So the Flames get the 2 seed. I don't know. I don't have very much faith in the Flames. And you want to know the reason? Because that press conference that Daryl Sutter had after the Colorado game, where he goes, if you wind up as a wild card against Colorado, you're going to be in for a four-game week. You shouldn't have that, right? Like, that shouldn't be words coming out of your mouth, whether you're talking about your team or not in the playoffs, when your team has not produced a thing. Like, the team you're talking about dominating everybody was the team that upset you as the number 1 seed 2 years ago. I don't trust Calgary. And right now, I trust the shit out of Nashville.
Yeah, I'm going to go Nashville here. If it's Nashville, let's keep it honest here. If something weird happens and Dallas is 7th seed, I'm picking Calgary. If it's Nashville, I'm taking Nashville over Calgary. Because Nashville, like I said, that back end, I trust them so much more to hold. See, another thing when it comes to playoffs, not only goaltending, but what team could get you to 3 goals? I trust Nashville's defense to hold a team under 2 goals per game, and I don't think Calgary will be able to do that, especially when you lost Giordano to Seattle. Like they don't have that back end power like they did in years past. They have that front end power. They don't have the back end power like they did. So I'm going to go Nashville here in 7 to beat Calgary here. Like I said, if it's Dallas, though, I'm going to go Calgary in 5 because I think Dallas is far superior than them. But I'm going to go Nashville.
Yeah, and I think if you just look at the star players that each team has, just go goaltender first. Nashville wins in goaltending. Star player, you have Johnny Hockey for Calgary, but then you look back and you have Yossi for Nashville. Then you go I can't even think. Kachuk for Calgary, and you look and you have Duchesne, you have Philip Forsberg, you have Johansson. Nashville is the deeper team, and Nashville being in the Central Division is the reason why they're going to be a wild card team. They had to play the Blues and the Wild and the Avalanche a lot of times, and that ended up giving them a low seed. But they could definitely go in and pump Calgary in the first round. I agree with you. If it's Nashville, I'm going to go Nashville. I think they probably get it done in 6 because that barn, Calgary's too young to deal with that kind of home ice advantage. So we're both on Nashville if it's Nashville. If not, we're going to both be on Calgary. This is where, the Western Conference, I don't know if we're going to be lockstep on the whole thing because now here's the next matchup: Minnesota, St. Louis. Now, Minnesota did win the season series, and in the recent couple of weeks when Minnesota has had to win to get home ice, they did. The Wild is taking care of business. St. Louis has a bit of a goaltending controversy going on because who is going to start the playoffs?
You throw Binnington in net. This series over in 4. I'll say it. This series is over in 4 if Binnington's in net. I get it. He won you.
The goaltending tandem that you see on the other side too.
That's the goaltending tandem. Like if one guy's cold, you throw the other one in there, he'll confidently lock the other team up. Mm-hmm. Like Minnesota has money to play with. They have a cup winner back in that one of their goaltenders. Binnington is that, but he's not veteran like Fleury is.
It's the same. It's the same situation as when Fleury won with Murray in front of him in Pittsburgh, because Talbot is the starter and Talbot is 1A, but Fleury is still 1B. Well, 1B,
Fleury is better than whatever St. Louis is going to throw at you. Mm-hmm. And if it's Binnington, this series is over in 4. I'm going Minnesota in 4. If Binnington is not in that, I'll go St. Louis gets a game or 2. But Binnington has just been weak. He won 1 cup and got to his head. They're showing finally why he wasn't seen as the guy originally when they drafted him. They were seen as a project goalie, not more than that. He won you a cup. He did what he needed to do, but I don't think he's going to be able to get you more than that. So I'm going Minnesota here. I'll say 5 for the happy medium here, but right now I think St. Louis is trending downwards and Minnesota is trending upwards. You still have the Ryan O'Reillys, obviously, who's an absolute stud. You still have the Tarasenko's. You still have those dogs, but I think Minnesota is trending in the right direction right now, and especially the back end. Right now, I trust what Cam Talbot and Fleury will do on the back end compared to what Binnington, and I don't even know who the other goaltender's name is, to do in St. Louis.
Yeah, I'm going Minnesota. I'm going Minnesota in 7, though. I don't see the Wild being a team that's wildly better than the Blues to the point where they're going to be able to win in 5 games. St. Louis with guys like Ryan O'Reilly, Braden Shen, and Kyrou all being kind of wave guys. Tarasenko leads the team in scoring this season, and we thought that he was not even going to be playing in St. Louis. He wanted the trade at the beginning of the season. The goaltending is where things do fall short. That's where Minnesota has the clear and distinct advantage, and Minnesota is a deeper team, but the dogs on St. Louis have drug worse teams to greater feats. And I don't think that they're going to be able to get over the hump and get the win. But yeah, they could definitely push Minnesota to a 7-game series, and it might be the best thing for Minnesota. Like, I think if you're a Wild fan, this is a scary matchup, but it's not the worst matchup because it's going to prepare you for whatever else comes up after this. This is anything after this other than a Colorado series, maybe a matchup against Nashville, is going to be gravy compared to going up against your heated division rival that you've already played 6 times this year.
Yeah, like these two teams, it's become a very, very good rivalry. It's become one of the best Midwestern rivalries out there between that Minnesota St. Louis series. Those two teams just do not like each other at all. Those two teams are going to drop blows probably every night. It's going to be another must-watch series. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 playoff series here where I'm like, I can miss a game. Most of these, I can't miss a game, man. But most of these series, I'm like, ooh, man, that's a fun one.
It's going to be a lot of Avs one may be
playoff episodes. The Avs one may be the one to be like, oh, this is a little bit boring. But it's my team, so it doesn't matter.
And it's working out the demons on a team that got one over on us a couple seasons ago.
Yep, so. Exactly.
And then wrapping things up in the West, it's Edmonton, it's LA. Edmonton can't get swept. I will say this. The only pressure Edmonton has on themselves right now is if you get swept, if anything similar to what happened last season happens, you are no longer going to have McDavid, Draisaitl, and Darnell Nurse. One of your 3, and it's not going to be McDavid, and it's probably not going to be Nurse because those 2 guys have the bigger contracts. Draisaitl is going to be out of there because it's proven that doesn't work. Yeah. It's proven that it's not going to happen. And yeah, Draisaitl would probably be more than happy getting out of a media market. Like, the only thing that Edmonton has is Oiler hockey. That is all they talk about.
And that Gretzky and McDavid played for their teams. That's all the city of Edmonton has, Jimmy.
And the fact that Gretzky has had a bigger impact on the game outside of Edmonton sticks in their craw a little bit too.
And Jimmy, I really want to take LA here. But I can't.
If Drew Doughty was playing, yeah, LA makes a lot of sense. I
really do. If LA was fully healthy, because Edmonton is another team. Like, yeah, they're going to blow it somehow. Like, I don't think this team beats their second round opponent at all. I don't even know, based upon the matchups, how they'll
probably end up being Colorado.
Oh, that's not fun. Either way, I'm saying they will not beat us. I don't think. But I want to take LA, but I physically can't because I basically ripped them off 2 weeks ago. I said there's no shot of them making the playoffs with all their injuries. And luckily, Vegas is an absolute shithole. And that team that had the biggest fall off is going 0 for 17 in shootout goals for 3 straight games and not making the playoffs is fucking hilarious. So the Kings snuck in. No, I'm going Edmonton. Edmonton in 5. I'll give them a gentleman's sweep. I think very well this series could be 4.
I'll
say 4 because I didn't have a sweep across the board. I'll say Edmonton 4.
I'm gonna say that it's LA. I'm gonna just pick LA because I screwed the pooch last year and I said that Montreal was only in the playoffs because there had to be a spot filled, and look what they ended up doing. And LA is only in the playoffs this season because there needed to be a spot filled for the last Pacific playoff spot. And they ended up being it, and yeah, that's where I'm playing the law of averages. Do I think it's going to happen? No. Do I think it's going to happen that Drew Doughty's not playing at all? No. But tell me a goaltender that you don't think is going to get hotter than Jonathan Quick and drag a bad team past an Edmonton team that doesn't know how to finish.
Except it's Jonathan Quick of 2022, not Jonathan Quick of 2012, Jimmy.
All it takes.
That's the only reason.
4 good games.
I saw Jonathan Quick give up 4 goals and about 5 minutes. So
hey, you can have a game where you give up 10. You just got to win 4 of them.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Edmonton doesn't know how to close. I don't know.
I would not be surprised. I'll say I won't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost, but I'm not predicting it.
If that's the one that I get over on you, I'll take it. It would make up for losing NFL, college, March Madness.
I think you beat me in NBA. I think you may beat me in the NBA one because I had the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals.
That is true.
So you may beat me.
Yep.
Because I'm trying to think what
I picked Golden State and Phoenix in the Western Conference Finals, and then I think Miami and Milwaukee. I had 1-3 on both sides.
Oh, yeah, I think I only missed one series because I had Phoenix right. I had Dallas wrong. I think you had Dallas right because Utah won. Because I had Utah picking. So yeah, you are up on me. So you may win basketball, Jimmy. You may win.
I'll take the one, and then I also want the Kings to win over Edmonton. Whether or not I win all of the Stanley Cup playoffs, that's fine. I'm just happy that they're back. Like Monday, it's gonna be like a relief when Monday comes and we have the first puck drop of the Stanley Cup playoffs. I think it's the most difficult professional sports championship to win, and I think it is the most satisfying, the most high intensity. Especially like it's the best thing to watch when your team is no longer in it or didn't have a chance in it. When you're watching your own team in the Stanley Cup playoffs, it is the most stress that I have ever, especially if it goes into overtime in a game 7.
Oh boy, yeah, no, it can be different.
I'm getting goosebumps now just thinking about it.
Let's hope we don't get an overtime game 7, Jimmy. I don't want that again. I don't want that again, Jimmy.
No,
but give me a New York Rangers Tampa Bay overtime game 7, please.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Not the or maybe Minnesota St. Louis game 7. Not Avs and whoever they play.
Oh, all right.
I'm just thankful, my Nuggets lost, but at least I can have a little bit of a breather, right? Last year I'm fucking Avs play, Nuggets play, Avs play, Nuggets play. I'm like, fuck, can I get a break? God damn, now I get at least a little bit of a break.
And your production is so much higher at work.
Thank God that I don't have to. We didn't do the same fucking thing that we did last year for counting the playoff wins. That shit cursed the hell out of us so quick. We're not doing that again. I hope you know that, Jimmy. We'll say one down. We gotta be smart.
Yeah, no. When the Nuggets won that game against the Warriors, it was at 10 games in a row that the Denver teams had lost in the playoffs. So the fact that they broke that streak, they broke the curse before the Avs started. I'll take it. Now I'm not pointing out the fact that they started a new one before the Avs started as well because they did lose. But
it was only one. It's not 13.
It's not a streak. It wasn't a streak at that point. It's got to be 3 games. That's going to be the end of episode 83. I mean, the two times a week, it's nice because it's not as we can talk more about what we want instead of having to fit in as much as possible. And we were even able to talk a little bit about the draft. I don't know if we were planning on doing that as much. Be sure follow at FEOTB Pod, all social medias, subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave a like and a comment. If you're subscribed or you're following us, unfollow, refollow, unsubscribe, resubscribe. If you're listening on your favorite podcasting app, please leave a 5-star rating and a review. If we get some more of those, we will continue to read them out, shout you guys out on the podcast as well. Moving forward, 2 episodes a week, Wednesdays, Fridays, keeping up with as much of the playoffs as possible. And after that, we'll be right into NFL offseason, and we'll probably get into some more conspiracy theories with our segments and everything going on. But for now, it's all playoffs all the time, and Stanley Cup playoffs. That's all I got to say.
Like I said, the chase to the Larry O.B. is over. Not technically for a lot of teams, but for us, it's over. Now it's chase to the Cup, luckily. It's chase to the Cup.
Oh, Lord Stanley,
one game at a time.
Brandy.
One game at a time.
Good thing I fucked that up because I don't think that would have been good karma. For myself, Jimmy Pilato, my co-host Nico Bryant, this has been episode 83 of the Far End of the Bench podcast. Thank you guys for listening. We will see you next Wednesday.
Peace.